HyperStar. I've been using it for about a half a year. And that unit actually plugs into the front corrector plate on the Celestron. So only fits Celestron scopes. But for those that have them, it's been very convenient. So the light beam is coming from the rear of the telescope, and it just comes up to a focus up under the camera through the lenses in the HyperStar. It is not reflected backwards to the rear of the scope. And hey, Jack. Yeah, we're looking at the HyperStar, how that brings the light up right under the faceplate of the camera without there being a secondary mirror. And it gives you a very shortened focal length, and so therefore the focal ratio goes way down. It's f2.3. Hey, Jack. Oh, Matt's getting a 2.3 plus. Well, Matt, you're going to love that camera. It's just really versatile. And it gives great color. And really an awful lot what the sky has to offer is lessons in color. And you're going to really enjoy it. You really are. Okay, so let's see. I can retire this picture if I don't need it now. We can come back to it. And then here's just a statement of what we're working with here. The skies in Leesburg are about 5.1 visual. The scope is a Celestron CPC 9-inch, and it's got the, I'm not using the MFR5, I'm using the HyperStar at 2.3. And oops, this is the wrong agenda. Let me get rid of that one. Pull up this one. There, that's better. Scopes with the HyperStar, the f focal ratio is 2.3. And let's see, the camera, the 2.3 plus, the software is Malcolm Sky. And then I have a sky planner called Sky Tools by a guy called Greg Krinklaw out in New Mexico, near where my daughter lives. Sky Tools 3 is what I've got. And then there's a screen grabbing device for broadcasting called KVY Cam. I'm using that. And of course, Night Skies Network Live. And the acquisition tonight, we're using gain at 50%. Right now, I've just got a 5-second exposure for this star cluster. And I'm not aligning or stacking right now, but when I do, it's usually 3 or 5 pictures, something modest. And I really don't do any further processing, any sharpening or anything here. So we'll save this too in case we need to come back to it. And here's our double cluster. Yeah, Matt, and probably you're going to get it around half moon, but that's not bad. It's about 1/10 of the light of a full moon. So even though it's half, it's still not very much light on the sky. Yeah, I hope that does work out. Let me put this back where we had it. I'll put it up high enough that you can see the that progress bar on the bottom of your screen. A little bit higher. Right there. I think I'm all adjusted here. Well, Matt, there's a learning curve. Have you used the Malcom Sky Tools before? Hey, Jeff. Good talking to you on the forum today. Jeff, you're welcome to drop. I got bumped again. You know, I rebooted my router and I unplugged and replugged my extender. But I'm going to have to keep track of that tonight. Got the image back, right? Oh, the flashing blue light on the camera? to let us know when to crash. Came on. Well, I do get a message that flashes up on my screen, if only I can pay attention to that. Between the controls on my Malcolm Sky, I'm usually very preoccupied with that, and then I try and catch messages. Hopefully, I will catch it when we get bumped, if we get bumped again. Maybe it'll settle down. Maybe it has to do with internet traffic. Oh, okay, Jack. There's no telling if this is going to be okay or not. Okay, this time I actually have a list I'm going to go from, just so let me get it. Oh, here it is right here. And then there's a couple comments we should look at tonight. And supernova. Well, sorry, folks, I got bumped again. I bet it is the television. Matt's asking about a red star in the center of the cluster. Well, let's take a look at that. I gotta fix my resolution first. You know, maybe, Jack, do you think if I went down one, it's going to put less strain? Here's 1440 by 1080. That's one stop down in resolution. Let's see what happens with the stability of connection. And I'm not getting Sky Tools to come up. What's wrong? Load it again. And then I have to start telescope control. Telescope is now connected. Use pan stars. Right there. So, back out, we can take a look and see where it's hiding. So it's right up there by the Pleiades and the Hyades. So pretty high overhead. In fact, that white line running up down is the meridian line. So let's go ahead and do a go-to to that and see what we can see. And it looks like the telescope was halfway across the sky. It's got 180 degrees to go around to reach that comet. I think this is the one. I think this is the one. It's got a magnitude 10. And then there are a couple of other ones that are below 30 degrees that are also magnitude 10. Hopefully they'll be migrating up as well, so we get a better look at them. Matt, my excitement, I forgot about the red star in the cluster. And to look at them well, you don't want to have them completely saturated because then they tend to go white. So sometimes you back off on the exposure time or the gain to see it better. This is pan stars. Yes. That's the one. Magnitude 11.1. So we should be able to easily see this one. So this is 5 seconds. And now let's go ahead and increase the gain on the exposure time on this. I'll go up to 15. 15 seconds. And loop. And my dark frame's still going. Hey, Rusty, good to see you there. Well, I guess that's it in the middle of the frame. Let's darken it up some. I'm moving the histogram, the dark set on the histogram. And I'm going to move the bright.
Right next to that little triangle of stars.
Write that down. So right now I've got about a 50 point, 60, 70 point spread on my histogram.
Triangle of stars and one.
And let's kill this green color. I'll go up and do a white balance.
Right there.
And then we'll stack a few. Okay, so you get it looking decent. I see we got a blue halo around this, probably because I don't have the right dark frame on it. But let's work with this, and I can change the dark frame after. And I'm going to make the background darker. Well, magnitude 11 ain't very bright. Of course, the light is spread out over an area there. Okay, let's go down now to, what was that? Okay, let's go down to light stacking. And we're going to do additive stacking, and I'm going to do about 3 of them. So original and 2 or 3. Let's see if that comet will come in for us. You'll see the comet. It's right here. That fuzzy spot right in the middle there. Oh, yeah, zoom in. Okay, here it comes. And I should be doing single single processor. Let me do that. Here it is. Okay, hang on. I'm going to my task manager and we're going to find Malcam for this laptop. I get in trouble stacking if I don't use a single processor, so there we are. And how can we improve that? Pretty dark. I mean, it's pretty faint. And I'll go up to the white balance. Kind of hard to do white balance when you're in the middle of the stack, but we'll try it. Well, it changed. $240 million miles. Comet C2016R. I'm going to write it down. So it's Pan-STARRS Comet C2016. It's been around a while. R. And I don't see the green going away, so I'm going to do a manual thing on that. You see the frame rotating? That's because it's almost on the meridian and pretty high up. Great for looking at a comet, but not with an alt-azimuth telescope. Okay, here's green. I think the green just kicked down a bit. Yeah, Matt, those are hot pixels, and I better pick another dark frame. So I'm on the green setting now. I'm taking the green down 3 points. And it's a little bluer, and there's been a shift. We might lose our position here. And for all I know, I did it too much. Ah, here it comes back again. All right. Well, there's the little comet, kind of a little pipsqueak there, but you see the nucleus with some trail coming off to the left. And it is pretty small, full frame. Here's the full frame. You would kind of almost miss it. I'm amazed at how well the software is doing. This is an object right in the meridian, so within a very short time, the whole image flips around 180 degrees. This is always a dicey area to want to try imaging. Okay, well, let's give me a chance to unhook this, and we'll go to something different. That was the only comment I saw on our list. Maybe I can take a picture of that as a memento. And then go down here, we undid the stacking. Hopefully it'll grab hold. And I think you guys are still with me, yeah. Well, when that happens, Sorry about that. I didn't want to get, I accidentally, don't know what I was doing here, but I accidentally lost my Night Skies Network. There we go. And we'll put it on 1440 again. So, okay, there, that should be a reasonable picture. And what I don't have is my Mellencamp. So I want to batch save these pictures. And I have to load the camera again. Here it comes. We'll take it down to 5 seconds again, loop it. There we are. And then what I wanted to do was go to the Caroline Herschel Rose cluster, just to get us going. 7789. So I have to pick all deep sky objects. And Caroline's Rose. Uh, 7789. Maybe it's here. Yeah, I saw it. Okay. There's the cluster. Right next to Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is now moved off to the west of the meridian, to the left-hand side. And the telescope's coming around. If you have any favorites tonight, speak up. I thought I would go pretty quickly to a Ursa Minor object, which is a supernova. I don't know if we can catch it or not. But it's next to an NGC object, a bright spiral galaxy, and the supernova's blazing at a magnitude 14. So it gives you an idea of how faint that search is going to be. Okay, so here's this cluster. Yeah, that's it. There she is. One of my favorite clusters. I think I like it so much because it's very dense. It's very old. And there just are a lot of stars in this little cluster. Really quite a nice sight. And Leslie's got the comment now. And Matt's asking for 891. Sure, Matt, we'll go there right now. Here's 891. And it's not too far away. Look at all the little blue galaxies all over that background. We're there already. Let's see where we can do this. So there's 891. Now I have the gain at 50%, and I can already see the galaxy pretty decently. This is a 5-second exposure. I'm going to go at least to 10 for a galaxy. So let me do that. You always want to have photons. Much better to have photons than it is to amplify with gain a limited number of photons. Ten seconds isn't bad at all. And of course that changes the brightness of everything, and I have to adjust the histogram. I'm dragging the dark set up towards the main peak. Now, gosh, 10 seconds, this is looking pretty good, isn't it? So there is our 10-second image of the galaxy. And I think what I'll do is stack the original in two. Let's try that. So put stacking on two and additive stacking. And there we go.
Operation complete.
Yeah, Matt, this is a very fast, optically fast, meaning very bright image in the image plane. All those photons are condensed down to a smaller area. And the pixel size in this camera is about, what is it, 5.8 micrometers, so that's pretty decent. You can see the image brightening as we're stacking. And as that happens, we'll try and it went darker. Did you see that? That's because I had moved the histogram some. And we're doing the original plus two, so there are a total of 3 pictures. Should darken one more time. Yeah. That's a reasonable view of M81. Of M891. It's not an MFCA, it's a NGC 891. Yeah, if I picked a stack of 3, typically I don't see the whole change until after that third photo is taken. And then I think largely depending on your processor and your computer, it then upgrades. He has the comment in view right now. No, Rusty does, says Steve. That galaxy next to the supernova in Ursa Major is a barred and distorted galaxy. Okay, Jack, let's go there. I'm going to grab a picture of this. And I will go over to my Sky Tools, and I'm going to have to put it in the finder here. It's called 217. There, I entered the number, you do a search, and there it is, NGC 6217, and down below I click add it to the list. Now I'll be able to visit it on other nights. I can get rid of that. And then 6217 is up here. Well, I don't see it. What have I done wrong? Maybe I didn't add it. That it did. We'll go through it one more time. 62, 17. You know what? It might be that it's not 30 degrees above the horizon. That could be the reason I'm not seeing it. I'm adding it to the right list, and I see the progress bar at the bottom. That means it's being added to the list. So if I don't see it here, it means I need to change my criteria for viewing. NGC 60. No. So let's go, instead of 2 air masses, 30 degrees, we're going to go above horizon. This will take everything from the horizon right up to the zenith. And now we should see 6217. $62. There it is. And there it is. And Ursa Minor, right down by the bowl of the Little Dipper. See, there it is. So that's where the supernova galaxy is. Now let's go there. Here comes the telescope. Okay, so what we do now is just go to the camera and take a look here and see if we see an NGC object. I need to unhook us from the previous. And hopefully we'll get back to normal camera function. Go up to loop the camera or turn it off. I may have to restart the camera. Here we go. Okay, so I'm on. Here's the camera. It's on 10 seconds. I think I should probably put it on 15. So I put it on 15 seconds because it is going to be a faint object, and the gain is still on halfway, 50% of maximum. Otherwise, there's nothing moving here. Oh, there's our galaxy. And I think I see the target. Let me do a white balance on this field. There we go. And now I can adjust my histogram. Let's zoom in on it. And I think our target is this guy right here. We could There we go. Sorry about that, guests. Okay, let me adjust our picture so we can see something. Between the galaxy and the three stars to the right. Yeah, so I circled a star that I remembered off a supernova chart. Now let me fix this image. It's way too bright. So to adjust, I'm drawing up the dark set on the histogram to below the peak. Peak always represents the collection of pixels representing the background. It's the majority intensity in the image. Hey, we can even see that it's a barred spiral. And let me get rid of my markings for a minute. And there it comes in. There was a little cloud that went over. Did you see how it reddened? When the image reddens like that transiently, it means a haze cloud went over, or a cloud. And it's red because the clouds are reflecting the shopping center lights. Well, that's pretty cool that we can even see that. And there it is. There's the barred spiral. That's pretty clear. You can see that, and the arms coming off like that. Isn't that cool? And then this is the galaxy, the supernova right here. And here are the two stars that Jack was talking about. Okay, so spiral B Hubble type SBC, orientation nearly face on. Wow. Position angle 154 degrees. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Let's make that background brighter. You guys are going to have a hard time. It's getting darker. The histogram always changes a bit, so you have to always kind of constantly tweak it. Now, what do you think we could do if we stacked a couple of these? I'll bring it down. The original is 3. So the first one's in. Now the second one is in. And that the stacking box, the stacking function tells you how many pictures are inputted and how many are outputted. Right now there's 0 outputted, and there it goes. With some brightening now. There, look at that. All right, let's see if we can fix this up with the histogram a little bit now. So now I brought the dark set of the histogram right into the peak a little bit. And hopefully it'll take it. All right. It seems to be getting brighter. That's typical of most of our supernovae. 14 or that's 14th magnitude. So we're doing pretty well. We definitely can see the central bar and the tendency toward the arms. It's an art object, and if you look at an image of it, you can see the distorted shape. Okay. I see that right above the core, there seems to be some sort of a peculiar knot. Do you see that, Jack? Right here. There's a knot right there. Wonder what that is. Well, that's nice. Again, there's our supernova right here. And I'll zoom in again so you can see it big. Okay, well, we did pretty well. We got a comet in tonight. We got a supernova in tonight. Let's go visit an old friend, M31, before she gets down too low. So, Matt, when you start doing this and you are doing stacking, what is that? I don't know what I do to bring up the bottom. Okay, I'm going to unhook us from the stacking function before we go. That should work, and the progress bar will not. There we are. That's the raw image. Unstacked, and so the histogram no longer holds. The dark strap line is going right through the middle of the histogram, so the whole image looks quite dark. I drag it down. You can see what the normal image might look like. And all this while, I had the white set of the histogram right up at 255. I didn't bring it down at all because we didn't want high contrast because it would have distorted a view of everything. It was a hard object. Oh, that'll be interesting. He'll pick that up great. He's with that exterminator. He's got a very high resolution. It's high resolution and high sensitivity. Should do a nice job. Okay, so let's take advantage of our big field of view, and we'll go to see the Andromeda Nebula. Here. All right, back. There it is, right there. Center it. And I guess I want to put the center down, maybe a little bit down a bit. Like right there. Let's try that. Okay, here we go. See the cursor? There's M32 and M110. Those are the dwarf elliptical galaxies. Andromeda actually has about a couple dozen anyway, little satellite galaxies, most of them small irregulars, very tiny. Okay, so now we can go back to the camera. And what have I done? Well, let's go and do that slew one more time. Or let me slew to the real target. Okay. Slew to cursor. There we are. The go-to on the scope is pretty good. I'm pretty blessed. I have the star sense aligning tool on the Celestron, and I pretty much worked it out now where I have to be. And let's see, so I need to move it down. Look what's happening. Let me move it down. We can see the two satellite galaxies at the top. Well, I'm on 15 seconds, so let me take it down to 5 seconds while I'm aligning things. I see I picked the wrong direction. So we'll put this on 5 seconds temporarily. And we have a different part of the sky, so the background color of the sky has changed a bit on us. So there's the core. And let me move my histogram dark set. There you go. There's the galaxy. And there are the two satellites. So if I tweak it up a little bit, so I pulled it down. I want to go up. Hopefully I'll be able to see this NGC 206 at the bottom. All right, so let's now increase the time. That's a 5 second exposure there. Let's go to 10. There we are. And you can see the dust lanes coming in now. So those dust lanes are right over here. Two big dust lanes. It's a nice steady night outside. I think the seeing is pretty good. Here's M110, here's M32. And let me do a white balance. Let's see here. There it is. And oh, there it is. The tool for the white balance is right here. I drag it off center here, and I can pick an area of sky. And let's try that one more time. Well, you've been busy. I saw you had some clouds tonight rolling in again. This is the last clear night we're going to have, but I've had a roll of nice nights here up in Virginia, haven't I? Lucky. Okay. Well, let's see if I can stack maybe the original in one. Live stacking, we'll take it to 1 and 1. Now it's going to get bright when this exposure comes in. The first one's in. And now we have to wait the 10 seconds for the second photo. It's in. Now Now it says okay, so, and there's the progress bar moving again. So it's taking the fourth photo now. And it's paused. Its computer's working to up. There it comes. Look how much better that looks. Okay, now what we can do, I'm bringing the dark set up to darken the frame first. I don't like a black background, but I do like it darker. And when you make that adjustment, it takes a little time sometimes, because when you're stacking, the computer has to think. So it's aligning, it's aligning every frame that comes into the stack. It's a two-picture stack that we're working with here. Okay. I have resolution set at 1440 by 1080. Oh, I didn't click OK. How's that? Okay. It's better. It's not as nice as the full Monty, but that seems to make me crash. Okay, I'm going to play with this a little bit more. I'm going to squeeze the contrast on it up here at the histogram. So I'm going to bring the histogram set down, and we're going to go for a 75-point spread on the histogram. It's going to get bright. I'll work here with 150 first. There we are. Let me get it down closer. And I have to pull the dark set up. It's too bright now. Okay. So this is 10 seconds, 2 exposures, and then monkeying with the histogram. But boy, we can see a lot of the dust lanes now. Hey, Bernie, welcome. Okay, well, let's swing over, and we will pick up on M33, and then we'll find some other stuff to look at. So there is the raw image, the 10-second raw image with kind of a high histogram, but I'm going to leave it like that. And then we just go here to Sky Tools, and I will find the pinwheel a little bit higher in elevation, which will help us. There it is. And a pseudo-cursor. This is a triangulum spiral. Sometimes it's called the pinwheel galaxy. This is pretty much an open face spiral. Okay. And there it is already. This down out of the way. Okay, so I think I can already stack some of these. I'm going to go the original and at least 2. Let's do the original and 2. Okay, the first one's in the dock already. You can see the little galactic core of this galaxy. It's very bright, almost like a pinpoint right there. And kind of yellowish. And here come the arms. They're getting more visible now. Yeah, okay. It's on 65. The spread on the histogram is about 60 points. And the peak is centered down there somewhere near 60 or 70. I'm starting to burn out the core, but we can see the arms better. I'm going to see if I can darken those arms. Let's go to 67. Yeah, that comes in nice, doesn't it? I get all confused when I look at these things. Jack, I think I've been looking at everything inverted and upside down because I just reloaded a Malcolm Sky today, and I didn't change my orientation to match the actual view. So let me do that right now. Here it is, flip. So I have to flip horizontally and vertically. Can you flip in the middle of an acquisition? Oh, I don't know. Nope, you can't. All right, I hear you. Get rid of this. So I'm flipping. I'm just checking again that I have it. Flipping both horizontally and vertically. It still doesn't look right. I think I have to vertical, horizontally. That's horizontal and vertical. Oh well, I'll figure this out some other time. But that's M33. Hey, well, welcome. Yeah, we've been looking at M31. We looked at M33 here. We looked at Comet 10 stars, and we looked at a supernova in NGC 6217 in Ursa Minor. And we looked at 7789, Airlines Rose. Anybody have a favorite one to go to? Otherwise, we're going to try the cave. Let me look and see where the Sculptor Galaxy is right now. I have a very limited view of the southern horizon. Wrong key. There we are. Now, Sculptor. Oops, wrong side of the zenith. We flip this map around. There it is. There's the Orion Nebula, and Sculptor is, I guess, down here. That's, we went to the Sculptor. That's, 253? I think so. Let's look and see. Oh. Let's see. Sky Tools. Here we go. 253. Well, it's not on my list. Maybe it's listed in the Sculptor Galaxy. Yep. Well, that's right down in the meridian, so it's a no-go for us. I didn't know it was so close to the South Galactic Pole, 253. Yeah, Sculptor Galaxy. No good. Okay. All right, let's take a look. Well, let's take a look at a far away globular cluster from our core, from our Milky Way. It's called Palomar 2. And if I go to Sky Tools and have a search list, I can select globular clusters. And there's Palomar 2. And there it is, pretty much near Orija. So let's go to that. Let's see what a distant globular looks like. Jack is suggesting 1909. That's an NGC 1909. And Palomar 2. It's the Witch Head Nebula. Okay, we'll try that one. Witch Head. Okay, I'm writing it down. And there we go. All right, let's adjust this histogram. You don't see anything because the peak was to the left of the dark side. Here we go. There we go. Oh, look, we can see it. How about that? This is also a remote globular. I don't know if we're going to be able to see any stars in it or not. Let's try averaging a few of these. First off, I'm going to check my exposure time. It's on 10 seconds. Oh, that's all right. Now let's go and live stack the original 2. Uh-oh. $33. So I'm not updating. Well, what do you think that means? M33 is showing, and the resolution, fix that back again, there, and but you're not seeing the globular. Why not? Yeah, the gene about self-revere. But you can hear me, is that right? This is the weirdest thing. Let's see. The video is enabled. Well, let me reset my KVY cam. Hang on. Okay. There. Let's see if that did the trick. Yeah, it did. Okay. So that reddish object in the middle, that's the globular cluster. Can somebody just check on how far away that would be? Palomar 2. It's called Palomar 2. And I guess I could swing over here to Sky Tools and just double click this for info. And it might tell me how far it is. No. It just says it's a globular cluster in the neuralgia. And we'll go back to the camera. Look how red it is. I wonder if it's in the neuralgia, so it's probably in part of the Milky Way being reddened because it's far out, and we're having to look through the Milky Way to see the globular. Okay, let's go to Jack's Witch Head. And you see 1909. And I will check here. I'm going now to all deep sky objects. I think the Witch Head's in my list. And all we do is click here and check alphabetically. No, it's not. So that being the case, I can go up here and do a search for 1909 and search, and it's NGC, and add it to the list, and you'll see the progress bar. Here, I've added it to the list, and I will look for it now. 1909. Witch Head. I don't think that worked right. Let's let it update its list, and then I'll do a go-to to the atlas. Don't see it there. Oh, there it is. Gosh, it's quite near Orion. Right down there. There's nothing to mark the spot near his foot. Okay. Got it. Well, let's go there. "89 light years," says Doug. To Palomar 2. 89 light years. Well, that's a good distance out. The distance to the core of our galaxy is something like 25 million light years. Oh, 25,000 light years, yes. So 89, that's about 3 times the distance that our sun is from the core of the galaxy, which puts it outside of the galaxy is 100,000 light years across. So that puts it outside the perimeter. Yeah, that's indeed far out. Okay, so I can take a look here now. Still slewing. Oh, well, it's slewing. Try and unhook us here. Okay. Let's let it refresh one more time. Looks like we're in, and now let's go ahead and do a longish exposure. 15 seconds. I know it's faint. So I'm going to go up to my exposure, the trigger mode, and I stopped it, and I'm going to change it to 15 seconds. And let's go again. Going to get bright. Should see something. No. You can see what I can get out of this. Well, Jack, I think it's going to want to be higher, although it looks like it's on the meridian. In height, it's the highest it's ever going to get for me. It's about 45 degrees off the horizon, and it's right on the meridian. Well, let's try and sum some pictures. We're going to look at the original one too. See if we can pick something out. The Witch Head is an emission nebula, so it should be have a good hydrogen component, be red. It may be that there's some reddish business down there. Witch Head. Okay. It's updating. The green is prominent. Let's see if we can eventually take care of the green. I want to bring up the white balance box. No, I don't see it. Oh, it's up here. I flipped things around. And white balance. Yeah, now it's 43 degrees, so I probably should change my dark plane. Rex says it's large. Can't say if I'm doing much with that tonight. I think I've had it before. Could be that we have haze tonight, and that may be affecting things. Yeah, I just don't see it here. Now, one other thing I can do before we leave the area I can just do it. Repeat the go-to. Sometimes I don't exactly land on. Good. It didn't hold up on me. So let me do the go-to again. On the off chance I didn't hit it right. Well, I just can't see it. We'll let this one go through. Jack, I'm just not seeing it. So, I think we're going to take it on down the exposure, and we'll go into the Orion Nebula. How's that? So there's 10 seconds. Let it loop at 10, and we're right there, so I might as well go there. And I love it. Let's see here. Well, we'll put it the center right there, and now we'll do a slew to that. Beautiful H2 region, a starburst region. Yeah, I couldn't pick it up tonight. Could we have 15-second exposure? That's peculiar. I'm going to try it with my DS16M. Okay, so it's there. Ooh, there we go. So I have to flip this for sure. So where's the flipper? Flipping it horizontally. There, that's how it's supposed to be. So the way I have it, I only have to do a vertical flip. So that's good to remember. Okay, now I'm going to fix the histogram. I'm putting the dark set right down at the foot of that peak again. Oh, very nice. We have the another ad. We have the white set. I guess the spread on the histogram right now is 100, 150, 100, 125. Well, that's nice. Let's do an average of this, and then we can zoom in some. I'll set it up for averaging, and we're going to average the original in 3. Plus I need to align. Plus I need to check my task manager, make sure that I'm setting affinity up. No wonder I had some trouble. There we go. Yeah, now I'm readjusted after doing my new install. There's the trapezium area, pretty burned out right now in this exposure, but you can see the beautiful nebula. They describe it as a blister. This thing is riding on the surface of a big, expanding molecular cloud, kind of as a thin sheet. I mean, the diameter that we're looking at it face on, and the thickness of this sheet is very, very small. There's a video of this. Did you see anybody see the video of the a three-dimensional tour of the Orion Nebula? SEA saw, M43 the same night as M42, looking over Ferris wood and coal fires in a medium refractor. Eyeball rate is about 0.15 seconds. What's the eyeball rate, I wonder? Skylook, what does that mean? The eyeball rate, I wonder. That's a very pretty sight. I could even darken the background a little bit more. The color on this DS2.3 is really very nice. Oh, and by the way, I'm not using any filters at all. So we're dealing with whatever light pollution bounces back at us, but I like having all the light. It's just, you know, it shortens my exposures. Yeah, Matt, that's a pretty good image, huh? You can see all these huge blobs of dark dust boiling out here. They look like big cannonballs. You can see the edge of the nebula way over here, coming around. And of course here that cloud comes in. It's so very obvious, big black cloud in here. That's dust. And you know, it looks like it's pretty abundant in the galaxy, but it is actually a trace item. It's only about 1%, maybe 2% of a galaxy's content is this dust. That's the kind of thing that I'm hoping for. Matt, what's your telescope? Okay, let's see. Anybody else have a favorite? 1300, the Bird Spiral Galaxy. Do you think I can get to that? Let me try. Great Nebula. I was looking at M42 last night, but nothing like that. Actually, when you look, you see a lot more green, right, Doug? I remember looking at a 16-inch and seeing a lot of green color nebulosity on a really dark night. This rendition is showing it, and maybe because of my light pollution, I'm not sure, or the camera sensitivity. I have a very red sensitive camera. And these regions that I think look green when you see with your eye. A lot of green. Maybe I'm all wet on that. Burnham's talks about it being all green. Green from eyeball sensitivity to mid-spectrum as we evolve. Yeah, I mean, our eye is very green sensitive. Red is only seen at about half the intensity that green is. Blue is even worse. Blue is 1/40th of the intensity as green. So you never want to use green in graphics for that. Oh, I'm getting some spiraling going on. Time to leave. I'll unhook us from the live stacking. You know what? It might be going across the meridian or be very close to the meridian. Let's check that. When there's the raw image again with no add-in. additive stacking. Well, it's not on the, it's close to the meridian. And maybe that's why it's doing that spinning. Let's check out NGC 1300. I'm not sure where it is. So NGC 1300. There it is in the readiness, right there at that little red X. I'm going to back off. I'm going to see, oh, I'm 30 degrees away from the meridian. We might be able to get to that. Let's try it. This is a really difficult position in my yard. Oh no, the telescope took off in the opposite direction. It has to spin around 360 degrees to get over here. So while we're waiting, if I move us here, look at all these green objects. These are comets. These are all comets in my database. I suppose if we looked them up, you'd see that they're very, very faint, but my gosh, there are a lot of them. The yellow line is the ecliptic. In Sky Tools, you get to paint your own sky atlas so you can make them look however you want to. But look at that, I just circled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13 comets right in that area. The large spiral. Well, here it comes. And it's going to 1300. Let me cancel out of our comments and bring it over here. Yeah, that's where it is, right on that galaxy. Right now, 1300. Okay. Ooh. That red means light pollution from Leesburg and my neighbor's house. But at least I've got stars. Maybe I can do something with this. I don't see the galaxy. That's not a good sign. Let's kill the orange. That's up here, white balance. And then I have to fix the histogram. And then maybe we'll see something. Okay. Yeah, so the spike of my histogram is now centered at 150. It's really quite a bright image. Left of center, somebody sees it. Oh. Let me circle it. So it's right in here. I will go up and change our exposure time to 15. We need all the photons we can get. Okay, here's 15. Blue. It's going to go bright again. This is when it gets.
Operation completed.
Here, let me fix the resolution. Here, that should look better. Let's do that. White balance. Well, color's changing, but I can't say that it's gray. When you get in a situation like that, it's often better to just go ahead and neutralize it. That's our pictures. Let's see what I can do. Well, it's small. Tonight, I'm just not going to get it. The sky is just too hazy. Haze does this. Haze just wrecks your contrast. Everything looks kind of fuzzy and milky, and there's just no way I'm going to be able to penetrate that. Okay, so lesson learned. $12.97 above that white balance box. Yes, good for you for pointing that out. I saw it. It's right here. And that shows up well as well. I'll move the white balance box out of here. Get my cursor. Move this down. Them doesn't bug us. And then let's go back here to Sky Tools. And there's that galaxy that right here that Jack was talking about. There's a red X through it on your chart. That would be that 1297 NGC object. And we can look here and see what Maybe we can't. Not the way I did it. Okay. This is the field of view for the DS16 camera. So I'm gonna get out of here and let's go and pick some other object here. Can we do Flaming Star? Seoul, California. And Skylook says he lived 40 miles south of Stafford when he started astronomy. Can we try galaxies in Leo? Gosh, dog, is it time? So here's over here somewhere is where Leo is rising, and there's boats and stuff. Here's Leo. Are you kidding me already? This is getting scary. Here's Leo. We can go to 2903. No problem. I think. Let me see. How many degrees are we off the horizon? Let's give it a shot. The neighbor's house might be right in line there, but we'll try it. 2903. This is one of the all-time greats. The Earl of Ross looked at this in the 1840s with his giant 6-foot speculum metal telescope in Ireland. And with it, he saw the arms of this galaxy. It was one of the few. He had the ability to see the spiral arms in about 20 galaxies. He was the first person to ever see them and sketch that out visually. Doug, where have you put us? Uh-oh, we're on the other side of the meridian again. So we have to wait for the telescope to come around. Here it comes. Coming in from the left, going through the Big Dipper. Coming to Leo. Matt, we did too. We stayed on the castle grounds in a stone cottage right at Burr Castle. We stayed for a week. And we just walked around the town, and every day we spent hours at that telescope. I just love that thing. When I did visual astronomy with an eyepiece, I had a collection of all of the Earl of Ross's engravings. And at the eyepiece, I would pick out an object to see if I could see what he saw. And pretty much with my 16-inch, I could see in my 16-inch what he was seeing with a 6-foot diameter speculum mirror. But he had 60% reflectivity with speculum metal, tarnished speculum metal. And of course he had secondary mirror, so it was 60% of 60%, 36%. And then of course his eyepieces had 2 glass elements, that's 4 surfaces. You ding at 8% per surface, and you wind up with a 16-inch telescope. I love it. Okay, so we should be there. Oh no, what's going on? Oh my goodness, what happened here? Well, that's not 2903. I better do a batch save of these pictures. Having some glitches in my computer tonight. There, it saved them. And I can get out of them. And then what I can do is go up and reload reload the telescope. The camera. Here it is. And here. And loop. Here's a 10-second picture. I don't like that red color. It means that we have a house in the way. Yeah. So that's not going to work yet. It's got to get higher in the sky, Doug. But what we can do is go to Bode's galaxies. Let's do that in a hurry, because that's hurting our eyes. Let's see. Bode's galaxy. There we go. And there's the cigar. I'm going to go right between the two. Between 81 and 82, right at the red X. So let's do a go-to. Because both of them will be in the field of view. Slow the cursor. And while it's slewing, if I go up here and pick 2.3 plus, and then I go back to the sky chart, I will be able to so this should represent the field of view of the DS2.3 camera in SkyTools. So this is kind of a handy gadget too. You can set up your camera, tell it the pixel sizes and the number format, and then it lets you see the framing. It's very handy often to see if certain galaxies can be grouped together when you do a slew. This is with SkyTools. Okay, let's go back to the camera. And there they are. Ooh, wow. Okay, so Doug, we can look at the Bode's galaxies. And I'm going to do a color balance on that. Yeah, there it is, a little bit brown. Let me try turning the green up a little bit for this one. We'll go through again. It's going to get quite green, but I'm going to redo the white balance. Okay, here it goes. I clicked white balance. What I'm trying to do is trick the program to give me a nice gray. There. So that's pretty good. And this is our basic 10-second exposure. This is M82, and you can see the red. You can see the red in that from the massive H2 regions. This is a galaxy on fire. Hair on fire galaxy. Yeah, neighbor's bedroom. Better not tell them that. Focal reduction, it's f2.3. So that's fun. That's the beautiful M82, the cigar galaxy. An American nickname, but a German astronomer, Bode, studied these galaxies for many years. You can see knots and detail in that galaxy. And all these different little H2 regions are all over the place. Many of them actually red. So this is hydrogen emission seen from millions of light years away. It's not often. You have to have close galaxies usually to see that with amateur cameras. So it's fun to see. And you know, this is the galaxy that has these tremendous filaments that reach out. They reach out like this in long exposure photographs. Here we're just seeing the core parts. It's a spiral seen on edge with a lot of starburst regions going on. And then next door is M81. Let's see what we can do with that. Let's stack a few here. I'll stack the original in 3. Let's be greedy. And I've got to activate my, what's that? I've got to activate my, and log out from that program. That's my focusing program. It's called Splashtop Streamer. It lets me walk outside to the telescope with my iPad. And use the iPad right at the scope to focus this image. Oh, this is coming up nice. Big stars in M82 resulting in periodic supernovae over the last 20 years. And Doug's asking how, Bernie's asking about the sky. It's 5.2. It's what is it, Bortle class 6? The red sky? So it's not the best. I really can't see the Milky Way here. Too bright. Yeah, that's doing better. And I haven't really used the gamma function tonight at all. It's a good thing. I've had enough variables. Crashing the Nice Guys Network. But have you noticed it's a little more stable for me when I reduce the resolution? So Jack's right. There's something about the internet traffic on my circuit. I'll call Verizon tomorrow and see what can be done. Yeah, that's a pretty sight. Jack's going off to check a trash fire. Yeah, dust lanes. You can actually see some of the dust lanes here. It's not as dramatic as it is on the Leo Galaxy M80 2903. But you can see them there. There's one. If we had a lower exposure, we would be able to bring one here. There's another one in here, I think. Okay. Let me back out and we can look at both of these together. And now I burned out M82 because I was picking a brighter exposure for M81. You know what? I don't think I have a I don't have a dark frame running here. So let's do that too. I'm going to take us off of stacking. and then a quick load of dark frame. So the way this works, Matt, I've got a file folder here filled with dark frames, and usually I put something to match the temperature. It's about 40 out there now. Here's 40 degrees, 10 seconds. Full range on the histogram, which is what you want. 50% gain, which is what I'm using. Perfect, so I'll use that. I don't know if it'll still be good or not. We can, yeah, it's not bad. I see a couple of hot pixels, but they are basically gone. So that's great. Okay, let's see. Doug, where else you want to go? More aperture and fast focal ratio. They make a big difference. Well, this aperture is not so big. It's 9-inch. And this makes my scope portable. I can, I have a case and with wheels, and I wheel it around. Goes in the back seat of my car. I put a seat belt around it when I travel. And then everything throws in the back, and I can go off and do a lot of star parties. In the summer, I'm doing a lot of star parties around here. And you're a 6-inch aperture at f5. Well, so roughly, the focal ratio difference is 3, and then you square that, so 9. Almost a 10-fold difference in how bright, just from the focal ratio. Compared to this. Now, if your sky is darker, you'll have a big edge up on me, because I have to use a very limited part of the histogram. Matt, so darks are specific to temp? Yes, temperature affects it. So during night time, usually in the summer, it's cooling off, and the temperature's dipping, and you find you have to change your dark frame. So I have a bunch of dark frames at different gain settings. I tend to use gain at 50% and 25%. And mostly I vary temperature. I have pictures for temperature. Bernie has seen my 10-inch f5 portable only on my truck. Only with my truck. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Matt, I mean, if we looked at the dark frames in my collection, here they are. Let's say I have gain at 10% and 20% and 25% and 50%. I have nothing above. Well, I have one at 75%. Most of them are 50% gain, and I use that when there's no moon, like tonight. And then I have 25% gain, and I will often use the scope down there when I want a smoother looking picture, or when there's a bright moon and I have to be very vigorous with the histogram. So my setting on the left slide. Oh, well, I did that for a while, Bernie, but my computer is a 2K screen computer, and that doesn't really cut it. The 2K doesn't let you read writing, so you couldn't see very much. You could see where the peak of the histogram is, but that's all you'd be able to see on my Malchem Sky control panel. I mean, we can change that if you want for the rest of the session. We can go there.
Oh, my Lord!
Let me do that. So, here we go. Here is selecting area for KV White Cam. and then I just will bring it over here, and I will bring it down to here, like that. Activate that screen, and then lower this down. And Jack's back from the trash. I hope it doesn't put soot deposits all over your telescope mirrors, Jack. We were talking about dark frames and how we keep a folder of dark frames and very temperature, very gain. Oh, the new truck. I forgot all about the new truck. Much more important than the telescope. Okay, let's try the California Nebula. See what's going on with it. I'm up in Perseus. Now. We'll move away from the rising spring constellations and have to go over here, for sure, to the fall side. And then Hyades, Pleiades. There's Elijah. Where's Perseus? It's near Andromeda. There's how can it be so far away? There's the Gemini. You know, Jack, there was that M46 that somebody posted on the Facebook that showed the planetary nebula. I've never done that one. Why don't I go to M46? I'll do that first. In Puppis, okay. And that's the A object. M. Oh. Well. Giving you a headache. We'll grab the scroll bar here. No Messiers at all. Oh. M. Oh, I'm surprised. Puppis. Oh, it's low down. Below 30 degrees, huh? You can forget it. I can't see that. If it's below 30 degrees, it's not going to be in range for me. That's not why it's not on my chart, I think. So let's indeed go back to the California. Can you see 2264? What's that at? Let's do it. Let's see. NGC 22. 2264 is not on my list, but I can add it. And add it to my list. Oh, the cone. Well, it's going to be a tiny little thing. You know, I have a huge field of view with this camera. Rusty would have done much better with that. But let's take a look. 2264. And it's the cone. So it's probably already in my list. Under cone. No. I'll get there eventually. I gotta go very slowly. If I leave the white box, it scrolls back to the maps. NGC cone. Well, there's no cone listed. NGC 2264 is right there. Okay. There it is. Let's go there. Hubble's Variable Nebula and the Cone Nebula and the Christmas Tree clusters are all right here. It was faint in his capture. Well, it's a hard object, and tonight is kind of hazy. I'm not sure I'll be able to do a great job with it. Here comes the telescope. There's the Earth's shadow right on the ecliptic line, that yellow line. I had no idea it was right at the base of the Gemini. Well, live and learn. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm on a 10-second exposure. And I suppose that's it in there. Let's stack some. We're going to do additive stacking. We've got the dark frame running. You know, the dark field came off. I've got to import one again. How did that happen? Okay, 40 degrees. This one is for gain of 50%. Sounds good. Open that and apply it. Yep, it worked. Okay, now we can live stack. I'm going to do the original and 3. The first one's in the dock. I guess this is the Christmas tree right here. They call it the Christmas tree cluster. Oops. My point's too wide. I spaz a lot with my mouse. Okay, let me be darkening this because it's already getting bright. I darkened it considerably. Well, we can see the reflection nebula in there. Now, Jack, was the cone, if I remember, was the cone up here, like that? Right star is at the stem or base. What? You can see it as I drew it? I didn't see anything, right? Let me clear that out and brighten it up. Hang on. The dark is okay. I'm going to lower the white set. Bring it way down. Things can get brighter now. I hope I don't get a Pink Floyd. Oh, there it is, maybe down there. Oh, Ed? I think this is it here. This is the Cone Nebula, this dark nebula. Anybody else know for sure? Doug is saying yup. No, that is not it, says Jack. Okay. Well, let me make it a little darker. You are zoomed in. Hello, Lance. Hey, it's Lance here? You zoom back out a bit. Does that help, Jack? And I'm going to darken this. We're going to go up to 65. I think that's probably it, Jack, where I just more recently outlined. I don't see anything up by the bright star at the top.
Right. Maybe. Right.
That's going to be to the bottom, at the bottom left, and out of the field of view. Well, when in doubt, you know what we do? We can do this. We go to Sky Tools and bring that map up, and then I right click, and we're going to bring up a digital sky survey chart and get the digital sky survey image, and we want it in red, I guess. Where's it blue? Let's pick, it's a reflection nebula. Let's pick blue, and then we're going to plot it in the view. Plot the image outline, plot it in the view. Okay, get image. There. So this will put an image down. And we can take a look now. The Cone Nebula. Oh. Well, where's the photograph? What's this? Hey, Paul. That's something else. Real hurtful. I can't get rid of it. I'll get rid of it later. It's back. So, what are the folks saying here? Jack, put that blue nebula at the top right. That is what I was looking at. I think it's at the bottom of the screen. See the black wedge in the red line. Okay. What? This thing. Oh, I see, and now I see the Christmas tree. Look, guys, there's the Christmas tree nebula, or star cluster. This is the Christmas right here, upside down. And then, yes, so we need to go down here, and let's do that. And we'll shoot a cursor. Okay, let's take a look at that. Oops, I messed everything up here. Get rid of my stacking. Oh, good. All right, we can start all over again. Okay. Well, I'm just going to stack the way things were, the original 3. So the first is in the bin. Sorry about that. I went by a location on the SkyTools chart that said Cone Nebula, but it put us at a different location. I'll check that later on to make sure it's correct. Well, I can see it brightening a little bit here. So can you. Well, and I'm not sure we're going to see anything here. Let's see. Since the dark field correction is still enabled, but I see a lot of hot pixels. Sometimes you have to make a fresh dark field map. Sometimes an archive picture doesn't quite cut it. Well, I can try and brighten it. This is a 50-point spread on the histogram. This is about as contrasting as we can get it. We have the original in 3. So do you think that this is the Hubble nebula right here? Hubble's variable nebula? That thing? Maybe so. Maybe so. But I'd say we struck out in trying to see any cone nebula down here. Okay, Matt. Good to have you tonight. Good to see you. Oh, bottom center, says Doug. All right. Let me back off. You see anything? This is just too hard. Dex says yes, he sees it. Yeah, is it above or below that star right there? Below that blue star. So is it somehow like this? Up. You mean this thing here? Oh. Okay.
I hate to quit. It's hard.
So Jack thinks it's that structure right there.
They run out of frames. Oh.
And Doug thinks it's below. Well, my remembrance was that it was below the Christmas tree, and that blue star is the top of the Christmas tree. So somehow down in here would be my guess, but I can't really see anything. I suppose you could say there's a little bit of darkening there. The reddish glow is the tip of the cone. Okay. Well, there's one thing that we can try. Let's do this. We're going to go for a longer exposure. I'm going to take us off the stacking, and we're going to change the exposure time to 20 seconds. And do this again. Loop. Let's see what more photons does for us. So this is 20 seconds. Usually I don't use this camera with a basic integration longer than 20 seconds. I don't know why. I guess I've tried it, and everything gets like that, saturated too much. But this is just a histogram problem. There we go. This will correct. There it goes. Now, let's try it one more time. Stack these guys. I'm doing the original and 3. So the first one's in, and we're waiting 20 seconds for the second one, so on. Well, this would be a good test to see how the camera works. Once you're used to acquisition conditions, then it's not so bad. Quite a reflection nebula at the base of the Christmas tree. Okay, here it comes. We've got 3. It's displaying 2. I already have to move the histogram up a little bit. Now let me make it darker. Well, I can see now that there is some nebulosity even around this star and around this star. Need to make it darker. Or maybe not. Doug, are you seeing the cone? Here's the advantage of maybe having a photograph by him. Well, that's too dark. Go back out. We'll never see it if I make the background too dark. Below the last star I circled. Well, the last star I circled. This little one, little red one. You mean that? And down in here is where the nebula, cone nebula is. Okay. And even below that. And that's it. Well, I guess I see it. I do see it. I just barely see it. But not as nice as Rusty saw it, right? Oh, there it is. There we can see it a little bit better. Helped when it got brighter. How about that? Yeah, the cone nebula. All right. Oh, yes. It helped when the background got brighter, not darker. I'm always gilding the lily. I'll probably regret this, but let's see what happens. Yeah, there's kind of a faint reddish glow in that area. Good for you, Doug, for spotting that. Yeah, now we can clearly see it. Hey, Bill. Well, Rusty, with a great deal of effort, we finally brought it in. The trick was on this camera to bring in a longer exposure time. I used 20 seconds. And we're stacking the original in 3, so four picture stacks. That worked pretty well. Snap that. And again. And again. And you can see a reddish glow around in this area up here. I wonder if that's real. Well, that's pretty cool. The Cone Nebula. Okay. You got the cone in there. Let's go to 2403. We can get that galaxy. That's a galaxy over in Ursa Major. Good going, guys. That was really fun. I really enjoyed that. Hubble's Variable Nebula. Where do you think that is? And they have a line going to right here. Next, not too far away from the cone. Hey, Lance, good to see you. Yeah, well, we finally got it. It is easy to see. Yeah, right? Okay, let's see here. So if I go to 2403, oh, look at that. There it really is, standing out. Snap that picture. Okay. So we'll leave that and we'll go over to 2403. And Ursa Major. There it is. And we're slewing. Well, I couldn't get to M46, but it's nice to know I can pick up that. That was the Cone Nebula. And here comes the scope. It's going to go cruising near the Boats galaxies where we were a bit ago. Okay. Oops. Rats. I'm afraid I'm going to have to reload the camera. Oh, I need to batch save my pictures. Okay, and then load it again. And trigger mode, 20 seconds. Here's the camera. Trigger. Looping for 20. Takes a little more patience when we're getting up there with 20 seconds and having minute and a half exposures. There it is, for sure. And not bad for a 20-second exposure. My goodness. Yeah, so if we stacked, you try, before I start stacking, let me bring up that dark frame again, which was 40 degrees, and 50% gain, and activate it. So I'm looking at hot pixels to see if they disappear. Oh, and they did. We like to see that. Okay, so what do you think? The original in 2? Additive stacking. Here's 50%. I haven't changed that all evening. Lance, it's still cold in Canada. We had beautiful weather today. It was almost 60 degrees here. Okay, the first 2 pictures are in. It seems to be doing its thing. Guys, Safari, it looks like I have, yeah, that's about right, Doug. A little over a degree, maybe 1.2. And then on the 16, isn't that pretty? On the 16, DS16, that's, in width, that's about 2 degrees. 1.5 degrees by 2 degrees. Something like that. Look at this, folks. Lance says, near Ottawa, on the St. Lawrence, it was 3 degrees Celsius today. A heat wave. They are probably walking around in Bermuda shorts. Hey, that's a very nice 2403. You can really see some detail in that galaxy. I mean, this spiral arm is a cinch that comes out like that, and then this other one, it's always kind of hard and dicey, but it's pretty clear tonight, going like that. But sometimes these things take a little imagination to see all the parts. Detached nebulae. You mean that are not part of the arms? So I guess some of these, like, you mean these? These are detached. Look like they're floating in space. Okay. You can see the bluish color to the arms. You can see the reddish color to the core. Yeah, relative to the main galaxy. Is Bernie with us? Bernie, do you think there's a benefit now to having the Mount Chem Sky adjustment tools showing on the left panel? Does anybody like that? My opinion is if you can't read it, why have it? Yeah, so you can't read it well. Do you still want me to have it? Or shall we go back to the full screen again? It does steal some of our real estate. Okay. Let's try. So That's an easy thing. Just bear with me a minute, and we'll do it. Okay, there we are. And then I need to raise this up a little bit. Okay, put it like that. And then we'd like to see that progress bar moving. If it's moving. Okay. So that's what we're talking. Do you think that's better than to have it like that? Yes, Bernie, Jack's broadcast has an important point. On some of these computers, you can read the screen better, and that's, I think, because he's got 4K screen. This is a 2K screen, so I don't know. It seems almost pointless to share the adjustment tools and just focus on the image. Because the laptop is kind of restricted real estate anyway. So we might as well focus on that. Well, I see other folks have joined since Lance, RD in California, Bill in Oklahoma. They're all welcome. We're looking here at NGC 2403. This is hopeless for me to keep up with the labeling. But there it is. In a perfectly calm universe, I would be able to label all the photos, but I haven't been able to do that. Well, that's a favorite. That turned out really well. I'm going to snap a picture of it. And let's just take a prowl there and see who else is in the vicinity. The Sol Nebula, there's the Zenith right up there. There's the Zenith. The green line is the horizon line, so it's 90 degrees and 60 degrees and 30 degrees, like that, and 0 degrees. Azimuth scope. Doing a pretty good job. Up in the Gemini is M35, which is a beautiful cluster. We can go and take a look at that just for kicks, and it's easy to go to. So I will bring that down, and it's in this vicinity right here, and I'll zoom in. M35, there it is. This is it. This is fun because it's a twofer. We get to see true to the chart target. Get to see two open clusters at the same time, separated by about 6,000 light years. So the white line is the meridian, and I'm almost at it. I've had the bad luck of picking targets right at the meridian. That's not good on an azimuth scope. Here comes the telescope down from the right. Hubble's variable and cone and Crab Nebula, flaming star. Here we try the Crab Nebula. Okay, and then I can go to, oh, I got to undo the stacking operation here. I already see the star cluster where it comes.